Hi. Today I am inspired to talk about the the belief system around money that a lot of people carry with them, the tendency for people to stay in jobs that they don't like because they feel pressured. And I understand it's not easy sometimes when you have family to support and bills and all that. Some people get really sucked into needing to work in a job they don't like because they don't feel like there's any other way. They feel like that is the only way to survive, and then the fact that they even think that they have to survive is already is already in a way being sucked into this whole money game. And it is just a game, but some people really don't play it in the way that serves them best. And a lot of people will accept that that's all there is. And they keep going in this cycle of life of needing to slave away to money, let money control your life. And I'm, I don't, I don't feel like people need to do this. There are lessons in it, though. Doesn't mean that you've made a mistake by taking that path of the jobs that you've chosen, and it doesn't make it wrong in any way, but there's obviously lessons that you need to take from those things, and it might just be coming closer to what you actually want to do rather than accepting it for just doing that and just assuming that that's all there is for you, because really we're infinite, and if we're doing what we love, as much as people think that that's not always the case, I believe if you're doing what you love and you do it as yourself, not in the terms of someone else, and you make it your own, you will be abundant, because the universe always supports you when you're doing things your way that is authentic to you. And I personally have had issues around this kind of thing, where to the extreme, even where I took a job that had nothing to do with anything that I am passionate about, maybe except for a little bit of physical activity. So I took on a letter carrier role for about 6 months because I was. Here's the reason. What I was doing as a naturopath was not what I actually wanted to do, the way I wanted to do it. So I started to reject all of it, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I had no energy to do it. I wasn't doing it in the way that I wanted to do it, but I didn't realize this. I also thought I needed more money and more stability, right? And stability was intriguing to me because I never think I ever had that. I always had like different weeks, different days of income, because it was very unpredictable all the time, and I didn't want to rely on it anymore. So I just said, well, not even 9 to 5, it was more like 9 to 9 job, working as a letter carrier and seeing what comes out of that. Like, I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to worry about helping people anymore. It's all good now. No, it's not all good, because it was me living in fear and wanting to have some stability because I wasn't stable within myself. I was not stable in my capacity to do things that I felt were in my power. Instead, I gave up those things without trying to adjust how I was doing those things. And I went for something that felt more easy to me, less responsibility. But what ended up happening is I realized how far from myself I got by doing something that had nothing to do with my path. It was still part of my path. It was still teaching me a lot of lessons that I wouldn't have got if I hadn't done it. So it definitely was not a mistake. So that's what I mean by it's not a mistake if you're taking jobs purely for the purpose of money. It's not a mistake, but what could potentially be a mistake is if you don't gather your lessons from it. And even then, I don't believe in mistakes. So really, mistake's the wrong word. But basically, if you don't gather your lessons from these choices, you will keep on repeating the same choices over and over. And the lesson might be that you have to release a belief about yourself or about money. A lot of people carry a belief that is ancestral, that they need to survive, so make money. Do something. Even if you don't like it, do it. It's ancestral. And sometimes it does take a lot of healing into the ancestors. It's like through energy work, through hypnotherapy, through all that, I've had to help many people heal ancestral beliefs because it's not them. It's like their parents and then their parents and then their parents and then their parents. And it just stems from such a deep-rooted belief about this thing that they don't know how to release from their bodies, and we carry it with us. So it drags us down through life. It's completely false. It's just carried in our DNA, and a lot of people, and from what I've met, they're here to break the path of that. They're here to break the cycle, which is great because we need more enlightened people in the world to help elevate other people. So continuing with my story here, I had to leave that job. But I still, when I was leaving the job, I was still holding on. I was like, oh, but let me just do a leave of absence, just in case I want to go back. What if I need that job? The letter carrier job. And I was on my way I jumped into another job that was at a health store. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'm still making almost the same amount, but it's still easy. Because for some reason I was looking for ease. I was tired. My energy is tired because I was not being myself in anything. So I was exhausted from life. And on my way from Canada Post, or from the letter carrier job, all the way driving to the other job, my car got T-boned. And I basically ran a red light. Didn't know I did it though. I wasn't trying. And that was like a clear sign, but I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, does this mean I'm not supposed to go to this health store? Or what it meant was I was not doing things as myself. Something was not present. I was not present in that moment for sure, but it was also showing me that I was not present in my life. So I ended up not getting the leave of absence approved, so I ended up having to quit the letter carrier job, which is fine. It's fine. That had to happen because I needed to move on. I needed to keep finding the truth of who I am and what I'm supposed to do. And sure enough, in the health store job, I lasted maybe a few weeks or a month till I really just didn't want to be there. I was like, I felt my capacity as a healer was being squished or something. I don't even know how to explain it. But retail is not for me. That's the key. It's not for me. Managing or working at one is not my thing. Maybe if it was my own little shop, another story. But no. And I just felt like my life being sucked out of me. Even though it was an easy job, I just felt the ease of it. It was even making me tired for some reason. Repetitiveness, it wasn't working. And some people can work in those environments and they feel great talking to people and stuff. I like talking to people, but it was all the other stuff that was driving me crazy in a retail environment. So sure enough, I was let go, which is great. Again, no problem. I was actually happy. So what I'm saying is I kept jumping from one to the next because I was hoping, I was praying, I was like, okay, there has to be something that I can do that's just easy money and I don't have to think about it. But the universe kept smacking me and saying, no, that's not for you. Bam! Like, nope, nope, leaving that job. You're not allowed to stay there. Okay. So then things started to open up and I realized, there's probably more I'm supposed to do here. And with a lot of inner work, a lot of realizations, I started to come to the conclusion that I actually have a lot more capacity if I do things my way. And my healing sessions started to become a lot more intuitive, and I had to shift my whole practice to focus in a certain way to draw the right people to me. And my yoga classes had to shift as well in what I was offering. And then I found a job that is still part of like me needing a bit of stability, but it's a job that gives me freedom at the same time, because it's not me going into a store, it's me working online and having that extra stability and it gives me time because I don't have to work all day, just a couple hours. It gives me time to do the other stuff. Yet I'm still learning stuff from that job, so it's not draining me like everything else I've been doing. And I really had to put it out there, like, just, and when you put it out there, like, show me a person, bring me a person, give me a sign, show me where I'm supposed to go next. You just ask, you meditate, you pray for the direction, and you also go inside yourself and really tune in to who you actually are, your actual power that you have in this life. And the more you tune into that, the more you get the answers. It's like we all know. It does sometimes take some help, like usually, like, a lot of people come to me to get the help they need to find this path of the right path for them. And you can do a lot of internal meditation and work to get to that point as well. But we usually put up our own blocks. If you are literally kicked out of a job, take it as a good sign, because it means something else is there that's better. And it might be because you have to come more to who you are rather than be a slave to money. And the more you do what you're supposed to do in this life, the more the money just flows to you and you will receive what you need. And yes, you can be really abundant if you do things in an authentic way and the right way. You do it with integrity, and everything with love. So if you are in the place where you're kind of just doing stuff for money, stop and question yourself. First of all, are you happy? First answer that comes to you, that's the right one. And if it's a no, then you may need to redirect yourself, because ultimately what's more important here? Happiness or lots of money that you don't even know what to do with? Because there's this fear, like, I need money, I need to have this money, I need my toys, I need this, I need that, I need security. But really, we have too much. A lot of people have just too much. And I find the more you release and give and free, and I lost that, it's okay, and this person, I don't know, didn't pay me back. That's another story I can talk about later. Surrendering to things like that, and not getting attached to things and objects. The more flow there is for better and new things to come into your life. So I've already said this in other videos, but I'm just saying it again. So now I'm in a place where I'm a lot less stressed in terms of what I'm doing, because I'm doing it my way. And now I'm able to move on with my life. I feel the confidence to move even to a new city, because I know if I'm being myself, people will show up. They will just show up. And I don't feel like I have to be afraid anymore. So I'm just encouraging you guys, just if you're stuck in this cycle of, I need to make money so I can survive, know first of all that it's ancestral, it's not yours. So it's time to let it go. If you really want to, though, it's time to let it go. And bring in what is actually true for you. And that's what will bring you the most happiness and the most abundance. I think that's it for now. Thank you for tuning in.